about it because y'all just missed a real good interaction, y'all. So, you know how the like, man, y'all missed it. Y'all really missed it. I want to cry now. Y'all missed it. But you know how the churches say, just like when you thought, but like I said, they're full of BS. But just like when you thought you were crawling and getting to the point where you're gonna survive, or or you're not gonna make it, or you wondered, God sent somebody. So yesterday, I was saying how, again, I'm gonna repeat this because I was talking about it all day yesterday. Um, how somebody had just walked up to me out of the blue, and it was a white lady, and she was just like, God told me not to be concerned about your future. And I was near tears, at least in my heart yesterday, thinking to myself, like, wow, I really could use that, like, just um, out of the blue type of thing. And this is the lady right here, Jig. I love her so much. I'm gonna tell y'all about it in just a minute. So I'll tell y'all about it right now because it's so beautiful. So I'm walking down the street, and I stopped walking down the street because all it takes is like for like some random male to say something to me, and I won't go down that street anymore, right? And so what ends up happening, and one time a while back, the same girl, she had her hair done up, and y'all can go ahead, and she had her hair done up, and she had her hair all done up, and she asked me if I wanted a ride. Again, walking past her house, walking down the street, and I was like, no, I'm good, thank you, right? And I was so amazed, and this is so ironic because I was just talking about kindness and how my feelings were hurt because somebody asked me on a few lives back now because I keep adding random ones. I asked, um, man, I asked, oh, so sad, but because so I, yeah, someone asked how I was doing, and I thought that they really meant it, and it kind of touched my heart. But then I realized their name was something about something reels, and so they probably saw the video with the girl yelling, and I was like, "Oh, did she get shot at and whatever? Let me come back and find out what's going on," which is kind of sad because this is a male, but I've seen so many of those videos where they're fight videos and things like that, and and it's males, black males, like rooting them on. So it's so distasteful. I wish I had time to block everybody. I wish I had time to like unsubscribe everybody, but I guess I look at it as a as a blessing that or a good thing because I got 40,000, so that part ain't going nowhere. No. So, and God bless to any of the people that may have passed away because a lot of them may have just been homeless people like the situation I was in. But this so this was right on time. And I thought that God had forgotten about his. I was like, that level is gone where he's sending me actual people to come and love on me, right? And it's so ironic because if you look through all the videos yesterday, it all kinds of leads up to this. But I want to cry so bad. So I thought that part was gone. Like, okay, God is sending me to the tougher level where he's not going to send me random people to come and love me. He's just going to show me through different little things. Because, like I said, on my phone, I looked at my phone and right under the time, I thought I posted a short of it. I don't know if it's there. I haven't had time to check it. But it said never settle, right? And I don't know where that came from. That was not there before. This particular phone that I use, I was using it supposedly for business only, but actually this has a little better service, so I'm using it for, for everything. But everything is business when you think about it because this part of it is the humanities part because I'm my first client. So, I mean, but it's, so I walked around the corner. This is the second time, right? And I had my earplugs in and I was messing with the phone, so again, I didn't really hear. But she said to me, hey, you need a ride? And she's at her house. And I guess she's about to get in her car to leave her house to go somewhere. And I've seen all these differentiations of cars. She has a gray car, and now this is a big black truck. So I don't know if maybe she's married and that's her husband's truck or whatever. But sweet girl, she's got to be like maybe maybe 30, 35, something like that. And so sweet, so sweet. And her hair, now I guess she took her hair out so it's short like mine and she dyed it red. And I was like, no. And she's like, you sure? And I was like, no. And I'm going to say this to people that, like me, that have a lot of sadness and pain. If somebody offers you something, don't, and I have a thing of doing this, and this is what they say homeless people do, but I'll start to tell them the whole life story that goes with it because I had to tell her, thank you so much for asking me, but no, I'm okay. You know, I need to lose weight. This is my exercise, right? And then on top of that, um, I started to tell her all about, let me cross the street, but I started to tell her all about how, you know, I was so thankful for that, you know, that I never really need one because I need to exercise, but how I was thankful anyways because I can't count. I can tell you the number of times people have intentionally tried to run me over, or at least it felt that way, you know. And so, I mean, and that made her sad. I shouldn't have said that. So don't say stuff like don't say stuff like that because you know you don't know. Maybe just like I was telling you how down I felt on myself and about how perhaps people may perceive me or things like that, and just weird stuff. And I don't think it's perception, you know. I think too, I put everything on YouTube, and also my name is on my mailbox because they kept putting everybody else's name in there, so I just put my whole name on my mailbox, and they still put everybody else's mail in there, and didn't make a difference. So if somebody wanted, and then like I told you, people was going to my mailbox anyway, probably found my YouTube and all the vulnerabilities that I release here on YouTube, and some of those are valid vulnerabilities, and some of those are me not really knowing what's going on and you know feeling like this may be it, but then later finding out it's not. But once people get a hold of stuff like that, you know, they do use it however they want. And like someone told me what I was going through, the little homeless tent or whatever, that because I was like, why would this guy say this? There was a little skinny teeny tiny guy, and I've always loved, like I said, people that are, you know, homeless, whatever, because I understand that. And even before I got into that legal situation, I always volunteered and all that. And my mom was telling me not to do that, but I always did. You know, I always had a heart for that, and I always felt like I would give hate back in love. You know, people would love me because of it, but no. And I remember, I don't know what happened. I think I had something small, like maybe I didn't want to speak to him or something. And next thing I know, he was telling everybody that I was a whore and this, that, and that. And I've had those types of rumors spread forever. And even people come on this page. Like I said yesterday, I had some weird ass thing on one of my lives where somebody had actually time-stamped something in my live video yesterday. I'm like, what? And called it out saying it was this, that, and the other. And I was like, what? It's me walking down the street doing, you know, looking at whatever's out here. But the thing about it is that when people do that, most people are not paying attention. So whatever they see, they're going to go with that, you know. And then I thought about how my mom disowned me. And, you know, when I think about it, she really, she didn't have any choice, because if you look at, you know, the stuff that I go through, you know, she's on her last retirement years. I remember working somewhere and the HR person, she was like, she know what's up, but, you know, she said, to be honest with you, you know, I'm about to retire in a few years. I'm not going to lose any of this, you know, to fight on that one. I'm going to leave it alone, you know. So that's what it is. So in the end, you have to fight for and fend for yourself. That's the bottom line. You know, I remember, and there's a lot of things that I really can't talk about here because, again, security and privacy, you don't know who's watching. But, you know, all of that's my responsibility. You know, security, damn, they tore the house down. Yeah, security, privacy. You know, that's the part that I'm gonna miss. I like being open, you know, and even though I know I don't have many years left, active years, I still want to, you know, I want to see if I can do it. You know, I still want to see if I can be open and still make it, you know. I've always had warnings against that, even when I was young. You know, young people already know, 17, 18. I remember graduating from high school one of my community friends or whatever, he worked at one of my first jobs with me. They took me out to like a graduation dinner. They took me out to dinner, basically is what it was. But he was like, yeah, Chipmunk can eat. He used to call me Chipmunk because I have fat cheeks. And he was just like, and somebody else had told me I wasn't going to make it either. And they weren't being mean or cruel. They were just saying, you are nice and you are honest. You can't be both of those. You have to be. So I'm learning to be mean. I'm learning to be mean. And I'm learning, you know. It's the organization is the art of good, but I guess you have to learn how to balance it with being mean too. But I don't know. I'm rethinking all of that now because when I think about what in the world am I hearing? I thought I heard a dog bark. But when I think about, maybe there's a lady coughing or something. When I think about, the communities I want to serve, and then I look at, what I'm getting from it, is it worth it? And I remember when I went to go register both of my businesses when I started, the guy, I don't know, because you don't know who knows of you, who's been through the same path you've been through, and, all your stuff is advertised. And he was just like, start off with the for-profit. And I remember my heart was hurting because I was like, why would you not want to help people first? Because perhaps those people really aren't good people, Just because I'm a good person, I was in that situation, doesn't mean that everybody else is, And like I said, I see behaviors that tell you clearly, like, that girl, if I break it down, her saying stuff really out loud that wasn't true. That's what the legal system does. They'll yell and say this, that, and the other, and dare you to say anything back, and make it so that's what everybody hears. And the more emotion you put behind it, the more people will believe it, because why would somebody do that, So I can't see. Let me see. Good morning. Who says good morning? Jimmy Frazier says good morning, good morning. And so then I think who called the police was the guy across the street. I think he called the police. And that's why the police came out there. I don't know. And how did it make me feel otherwise? It also made me feel like, for certain, this is not my home. I was talking yesterday about that too, but if this is not my home, where is my home? Where is going to be my home? Where can I call home? And then maybe it might be God's way of making it faster for me. Because this is what was supposed to happen this year, was I was supposed to have my caravan and be completely mobile. Like, I was supposed to move out of that place and be completely mobile, and everything was supposed to be moved out and gone. Nothing but my computers, and as far as clothes, just only polo shirts that I have for work, for my businesses, and that's it, And in a way, that may be what God is doing, because I found out through me trying to change up vendors for different things I was using, I found out that something I was looking for a long time, about, my service. I found out about some different things that were available to me that I never really knew how to get, or, wasn't in my face before, but it is now, And I could definitely do that. I would just have to get the money up to get a caravan or whatever. But it would take a lot of searching, because if I get one, it would have to be $5,000 or less and run good. So we'll see how that goes. And I don't want anything too old. I definitely don't want it. I would prefer something within the last 5 years. But if it's got to be 10, that's fine too. But, it's going to be a minute, And then once I do get all that transition like that, and I want to work out of my van. That's what I want to do. That's exactly what I want to do, and that's what I've always wanted to do. But then there may be an issue with, and maybe my appearance will change then, because I'll only have my work, my quote unquote work clothes that I personally designed. And I don't know. But it made me sad when I thought too about how quickly, like that quote I said, when people don't get fed love from spoons, they lick it off of knives, and how quickly because that guy came into the chat and he asked, how are you doing? You know, even though emotionally, physically, visually, maybe you didn't see a lot because I didn't have time to dwell on it, but I didn't realize how much it touched my heart. It did touch my heart a little bit, but I didn't realize the impact that I was allowing it to have on me until I realized the truth of the matter was no, he didn't care. He was asking because he wanted content for whatever crazy, hyped up violence thing he got going on. And I didn't get a chance to look at his channel because I didn't have time. I just got a comment. So, yeah. So that's the lesson that I have to learn too. I have to learn that people do not care. I have to learn that, and it's kind of hard for me to learn that because I wasn't raised on that. And it's funny how I talk about how I wasn't raised on that, but I was disowned. So I have to remember people don't care. And I think automatically, because I was always raised that black men are the foundation, the cornerstone. They're always supposed to care and protect us. But they don't, and I have to be aware of that that's not what happens in a black society for real. And it's for different reasons. Sometimes it's just the inability to do so because they've been through the legal system, this, that, and other. And others is because they are descendants of that inability to do so, and now this is what's normal for them. Oh my God, remember I told you I had a dream about the little brown and black dog puppies? They were like that, except they were smaller. Wow, look at all these dogs, are cute. Oh my goodness, they're coming. Well, okay, I was saying hello, but he's like, Oh, he's almost big enough to jump over the fence. The little one is like, hey, he wants to be friendly. But the big one's like, nope. I don't know if y'all can see them. Weren't they cute? They were the cutest thing. So cute. Well, I don't know. My life just seems crazy. We have been conditioned to not want each other. I mean, what's really sad to me? Let me take a look at his name. I think it's Great something. I saw you yesterday, but I can't get your name. The Great. Okay. What's really sad to me? And it's true because I'm a product of that. You can't tell, but I'm biracial. I'm a product of that, and it's because as a black man, I think I'm speaking for my father's generation. As a black man back then, he was born in the 40s, right? So that was when there was a lot of abuse against black people, and then they were trying to get black people, quote unquote, free from Jim Crow and all that other stuff. And so a lot of black men, when they were enlisting people in the military, which my father did, and my father's brother, which is my uncle, did, they went and both of them, my father and my uncle, brought back women from different countries. My dad brought back, I can't talk about my mom like that. My dad brought back my mom, who's from Seoul, and my uncle brought back my aunt, who's from Germany, right? And my grandmother, of course, there's a lot of racism in the black community too. And my father and my uncle thought, okay, their family wouldn't mind because these are not white women per se, they're women from different countries. But black people, and I don't know how old you are, but black people, especially black women back at this time, ooh, they had a strong hatred towards that, And I don't think my dad meant any harm, but he figured, he found this woman or whatever. She was exotic, different. He liked her, whatever. They had both artistic in their own ways. My dad liked singing and music. My mom liked drawing and arts and fashion. So, they like to have fun, If you saw the pictures of them when they were younger, they really had a good time together. But when he found out, he got here back home, and he found out there was so much racism against my mom. And then when we lived in Korea, there was so much racism against my dad. So it was like all they had was each other. But then my father, he had PTSD probably. He drank a lot, okay, from the military. And, he basically got kicked out. He still got benefits, but he got kicked out. I don't know how the military works that way. I'm thinking if you get put out, you don't get the benefits, but he still got benefits. But it wasn't an easy life, you know what I'm saying? And then, so now he has this woman that he's brought here. They're married, you know, they're raising a little girl, and they're finding racism on both sides. And, you know, now he's out of the military, and now he's trying to prove something to my mom and all these little jobs and shit. And my mom was just like, yo, you know, you're gonna have to go, because my mom and dad went together to the welfare office to see if they could get food stamps. And that's when the welfare thing was first starting, because we got here like 81, 82, something like that. And the social worker said, well, we can help you with this, that, and the other, but we can't help if he stays. Y'all got to get divorced. Y'all can't be married, because the way the system sees it, if y'all are married, he needs to be pulling that weight, you know? So she was like, you know, he can always come and visit and help with the kids and stuff, but he can't live with you. He can't live there. So, you know, that whole thing, you know, and I don't think my dad intentionally just went to find a different woman. He was at that age range. Well, I don't know how old he was in the Army, like, you know, mid-20s, something like that, you know, that age. So it's like that. And now, I mean, it makes me feel a certain way. And sometimes I have to remember that I'm old, but like when I go into, and I saw that hatred, and I never had it until I got older and my features became more black, you know, then I kind of understood, because, you know, I remember when I was younger and going out with males, and I remember there was a guy that looked like, I guess, Christopher Williams, and I remember he was telling me, his mom is black, but he was telling me, you know, I don't date black women. And I was just like, what the hell am I? You know what I'm saying? And he was just like I was something special, because, and it's weird, you know, and this is in the 90s and the 2000s, you know what I'm saying? So black men are still like that. It's just unfortunate that I'm not as cute as I used to be, you know, but, you know, but that's the truth of it. And I think the people that used to talk to me when I was younger, it was just because I looked different. It wasn't because, it was because of that. It was exotic to them. That's what it was. And people, I mean, yeah. So, but the legal system took all my self-esteem. And the jobs that I had after that, you know, slowly ate away the just everything. So I'm not gonna say I'm at ground zero. I'm at like level 1, because I'm aware. And ground zero is when you're totally devastated and you don't know what's going on. I know what's going on. I'm aware, you know, not fully, but I am. And I'm at the point where I'm in the second half of my life where I got to pull it together. You know, I'm not thinking like the girl last night was talking about, oh, you Ozzy. And I was like, wait a minute, you got a weave sitting on top of your head. You know, I'm not thinking about none of that stuff. You know, I really, really, really am just trying. That's what I'm stressed out about, is not even stressed. I wasn't stressed, but that's what's keeping me up at night. I don't think I'm stressed, but that's what's keeping me up at night, because I thought about it. That was one of the things I almost cried about this morning, because I was like, you know, I didn't sleep again until like 5:30 this morning. And I slept for 1 hour and woke up. Y'all saw I got on live. But I almost cried because I thought about it. I was like, you know, why? And I did try to go straight to sleep when I came in because I was tired. But again, I was wired. And I was like, you know, is the reason I can't go to sleep because of that interaction with that girl? No, it wasn't, because even if she wasn't there, I still would have been wired, because I was wired the night before. Because my main concern is not any of that. My main concern, I'm scared to cross the street. Okay, my main concern is not any of that. My main concern is being able to make my own money and support myself, you know? And not through any employer, because I can't put up with that anymore. My body has taken its toll. All this fat, this extra 50 pounds, it came from and mental health. Mental health, it came from that, you know? And I didn't even realize that I had gained all that weight. This is a dangerous place for me to cross the street. Going back to the crosswalk, which really doesn't make a difference, because that's where I got hit well, not hit, almost hit yesterday. So there's no cars. Well, that's what I said. So it's tough, you know. So I'm not putting myself through that anymore. And I remember being on TikTok, and there was this guy that posted this job that, you know, sometimes I forget what it was, he'd get a job just so he could quit. And I remember, I've changed. I don't necessarily believe in that ideology because part of me still believes that you should try to be good to an employer. But when I look back on it, if I count all the jobs that I've had realistically, and I've been working, I was like 14, and if I count all the jobs that I had all over that time, and just in this past year or two alone, and I don't know if you could count those because it's like I really didn't want those. I dreaded it. I cried. I cried when they sent me equipment. I broke down and cried, and it's just, and you could say everything up front, like with your expectations regarding the employee handbook, the equipment, whatever, and then you have people just like that girl did, just because I asked that they, can you please not walk across my yard? She made it a point. She actually, y'all didn't see it it's too dark for y'all to see on the camera, but she actually made the motion of spitting. And I was just like, what? So it had to be, just, and just like I talk about the ghetto, but people at jobs are ghetto like that too, but in a different way. So just because you said that you needed to make sure you had the employee handbook before you started, they made sure you didn't have access to it until the day that you started, but needed you to sign it before the day that you started. And they knew that it was required, and they knew you weren't going to sign it if you hadn't read it, And then I said everything, but I said everything was good. Then they didn't have your credentials ready, and then they want you to come back on Monday. Are you kidding me? Do you know what it took for me to set up for work? So it's just, but there are people in your corner, because there's people in my corner saying, yeah, this, that, and the other, But the lady was intentionally doing that because I actually set a boundary or set an expectation. And that's the same thing with the girl last night, boundaries and expectations. And that young boy that she was with, and people are not teaching these kids anything, because his thing, what I could see was like, at the end he was just like, oh man, be quiet because she's going to. And I bet for the rest of the night they talked about that, and she was like, yeah, he felt like a man. I told her, and that's not good. You have these kids. That same little boy, I was sitting when I was working outside that day, I always have the cameras up so I could see behind me, because I noticed people stopping at the intersection, and I want to be aware of who's around me. And he actually came out of the house and stood there, and when he saw me adjust the camera, he said, so I don't know if he's like the boyfriend or somebody, or I thought he was maybe a son. He just started coming around last few months, so. But she's not related to those people directly either. Drug friends, whatever, but it's not okay. And then I thought about it, and I thought about, well, I have to have my peace. And then I thought about what I said a few months ago when those bad kids was always running across the yard. I said, well, maybe I need to stop complaining, because if I can't afford to put a gate up around there, and I'm sure, if it's something that's going to improve the place, my landlord wouldn't mind, but I'm going in the opposite direction now. I'm messing up, So if I can't afford that, then, and right now I can't afford to put a gate up, even if it's a makeshift gate with a bunch of cinder blocks. I can't afford to do it right now, Plus, I don't even have my vehicle, so I can't even haul the stuff back and forth unless I go rent a truck. But yep. So, I'm 39. I thought love was blind. Love, I don't know about love being blind. I don't think, just like the same thing I think about friendship now. I don't think friendship is real these days. I don't even know about that, but I think it's all an exchange. And not necessarily in a bad way, but you have to feel like you're somehow benefiting from the interaction, So obviously nobody's benefiting me from me. And so I have to show, and that's why, and I'm glad he brought that up, because that made me have to look at myself, because, I was talking about people's perceptions of me. And, is it that my perception of people's perceptions of me are skewed? But no, people do have that impression. And sometimes I'll walk past the mirror. Or like I said, I took a picture the other day, and I knew that I looked bad. But when I saw how bad it was, I fell out. I literally, these clothes you see on the ground here, That's what it looked like I had on my body. It did. And they were ripped up and holy. And I was just walking around the neighborhood just like that, you know. And you can't do that. You can't do that if you want to, because when you come out, it's marketing yourself. And I still look bad. I got my belly hanging out and I'm fat now, so I can't really be doing that either, you know. I don't, you know, you got to take time. People can tell, and I like myself natural, but, you know, take time, put some mousse in it maybe, you know, so it all lay the same way. But it's just, I have so much to do, you guys, that sometimes I feel like I don't have time to think about that, but then do I have time not to? And then also, sometimes God works in my favor because I wanted to print out my little index card with the QR scans. And then I thought about it, and you know, I tried to print it out on those index cards, but I didn't have the print setting right. It ended up jamming the printer, and I was like, I can't spend 30 minutes doing this. Let me, you know, go take care of this stuff real quick, you know? So, but it was good because maybe that's too pushy. You know, maybe I need to hold off and wait. And, you know, when people start to talk to me. So when that girl talked to me, you know, I shouldn't have told her all of that because maybe that comes off as real desperate, you know? But I don't want to be, and to me, that's perception management and being manipulative. I don't want to be that, you know? I just want to be me. I want to be loved for who I am, you know, not who you think I am or how I put myself together for you to believe that I am. I want to be me and that be what it is, you know? And, but I don't know, you know, do I want to make money or do I not? That's the bottom line. I'm about to go into the store. Let me read these comments that I missed. Just sharpen your mind so you can grow. That's right, I do have to sharpen it. And you said something real good yesterday about the infinite waters of God that God instilled in me or whatever. And I don't know why the chats are not showing back up because some of that stuff is good and I need to go back and look at it. You have to be the best you in order to track what you want. That's true, working on it. But anyways, I gotta go in here and I'll be back.